You think I'm joking about the cookies? And am I on? Okay, according to this, I'm on. Waiting for it to come on over there. Looks like I'm on the TV. So here I am. I don't know why this is not coming on. Why is that not coming on? Looks like we're on. Hello, everybody. This is January 4th, 2023. It's 3:19. I'm a little late, but looky here. Oreos with chocolate filling. I love them. I gotta have them. Normally I would have milk with this, but I'm very low on the milk. So I'm gonna have a Pepsi. I just love scraping out, with my teeth, the chocolate part. And then normally if I had milk, I would dip this in the milk. I do have some milk, but I just felt like having a Pepsi. I don't know. And my drink of choice is Pepsi Wild Cherry. I love it. What can I say? Ah, yeah, good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff right there. Should I put that back there? The thing about these Oreos, though, is they seem to be, the cookie part doesn't seem to be very strong for some reason. Hey, Joel's here. All right, Jolie. And AJ X1. Hey, Tucker, headed to Idaho. See, the other day you were in Portland. So now, what are you going to do? Head out across the 90 over to Coeur d'Alene? Or are you going down through Cabbage Patch and going down to Boise? Down to Boise. Boise. However they say it. I know the locals have a certain way of saying it. It's like Boise. No, Boise. Boise. Most normal people just say Boise, but if you live there, you got to say Boise, or something like that. So I'm just eating Oreo cookies. I'm in a grand old time here in beautiful downtown. I'm just eating the middle part. Really, I don't even like this part unless I have milk to dip it in. And I mean, I guess I could. There is a little bit of milk, but I just don't even think there's enough for a cup. Actually, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell myself. Hey, there's Wes Webb. He's here. Wes Webb is here. I have white fudge Oreos in the freezer. I don't go for that white fudge shit. I go for the real deal, man. I go for the real deal right here. It's chocolate. Dark. It's not dark chocolate, but it's it's regular brown chocolate. Anyhow, they did have some like the green mint kind at the store, and I was gonna try those, but I've had these chocolate ones before, and I really like them. So I was just like, I'm just gonna stick with the chocolate, because I just bought some. Well, a little while ago, a few weeks ago, I bought the Klondike bars, but they had like the mint and chip ice cream in the Klondike bar, and it was good. I liked it. It was pretty good. But then I thought, that's a bit, maybe that's just too much mint and chip. I already had the Klondike bars, um, so I don't know if I want Oreos now. I don't know if I want to follow that up with Oreos, with Oreo mint and chip, or whatever they call it. They don't call it mint and chip, I don't think. Maybe they do. It's just mint. So here I am, just scarfing down some of these. But now, I really screwed up. I should have went out and bought some milk during the break. But you know what? During the break, since the morning show to this show, I really didn't do much. I did the dishes. So my dishes are all clean. Oh man, these things fall apart way too easy. I think they're making them not as good as not as structurally sound as they used to be. All to cut costs. As I heard that they are actually putting in less, of the creamy filling or whatever you want to call it, to the point now that the double stuff that you get is now, that used to be the regular stuff. They think they can fool us, but we're not. I mean, we might be stupid in a lot of ways, or we might be a little slow on the uptake, but we'll eventually figure it out, or someone will. West Web, gluten holds cookies together. Well, they need more gluten then. Because, this part here, they sure are coming apart. When I scrape the chocolate out, I'm making a mess. All right, so I'm eating cookies while the world is just going to hell. Here I am eating cookies, like a just overprivileged American. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hi, everybody. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for me. I really do appreciate the thumbs up. Like, subscribe, share. And then tell me, how do you eat your Oreos? And what kind do you like? Do you like chocolate? Do you like the original, I guess, vanilla? Do you like the mint and chip? Do you like the dipped in white fudge that Wes seems to really like? Inquiring minds want to know. But anyhow, back to AJX1. Safe travels, my friend. I'm not sure what the weather's like. It might just be rainy up there now. I don't know. We seem to be getting some weather across the country. So I haven't really checked the weather reports up there, but be careful always, regardless of what the weather. You should always be careful. We got, let's see. West says, I'm still 7 pounds. I'm still up 7 pounds. Probably should leave them alone. Yeah, just leave them alone. I don't weigh myself anymore. I'm having cookies. I'm hungry. I want cookies. AJX1 says, taking the 84 to Othello, Washington to Boise. Okay. Hopefully the mountain passes are clear and good to go. West West says, these are real Oreos dipped in white fudge. It's probably delicious. It's probably delicious. AJ says, have you tried Milano cookies? I think so, right? They're sort of those, sort of like a brown cookie or whatever, or a light tan cookie. And it has like that sort of thin thing of chocolate in the middle. I think I've had those. Um, Wes says yes to mulattoes. My mom used to love them. Wes says anything Pepperidge Farm. Pepperidge Farm. Wes says gluten holds cookies. Oh, somehow I read that already, I think. So Wes says Adam Westlish is warning of trolls. Where is Adam Westlish? Jolie says I've never been much of a cookie person. My weakness is sweet pastries. Apparently, my weakness is anything sweet because I love cookies and I love sweet pastries and I love Klondike bars and ice cream. I rarely buy them because I have zero self-control and will eat them all. I know. It's like I have these cookies and I kind of have to ration. Like if I had the whole package here, I would just start eating the whole package. That's why I just put I think what I put 5 on this plate here. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. I know they're all broken up now. 1, 2. Let's see. Here's 1, 2. I think I don't know. I had 4 or 5. No, there's the 5th one. And the one fell on the floor, and I put it off the plate because I don't want to eat it because it was on the floor. So I'm rationing myself to just these 5 cookies, and that is all I will eat. Even though I probably should only eat 3. You know, because they're like probably 150 calories each or something for each cookie or more. So I basically just ate like a whole meal's worth of calories in this little splurge here. But anyhow, with about 0 nutritional value, right? It's a shame though. I have all these other things, and I really don't like eating them unless I dip them in milk. Isn't that silly? And I don't know. I do have some. I have a little bit of milk. I don't even think I have enough for a cup. Okay, that's it. AJX1 says Haagen-Dazs white chocolate raspberry truffle best ice cream. That sounds delicious. That does sound yummy. Wes Webb says I have a pound of hamburger thawing, but I will probably save that for tomorrow. You know, I have a pound of hamburger. I got a pound of hamburger. That came out wrong. That actually, I do have a pound of hamburger in the freezer, and I was thinking about doing something with it. Maybe making some beef burritos or something because I have tortillas and I have cheese. Maybe that's what I'm gonna have for dinner. Well, I have the thought, so I guess I should set that thing out. That didn't sound right either. I should do like Wes is doing, and I should thaw out my hamburger. Nothing sounds right these days. I don't know. Let's see here. Wes says sounds good to me too. Wes says going to add onions and tater tots to make a hash. That does sound good. And I'm not really a big onion guy. The onions have to be really grilled or fried or sauteed or whatever. I just hate it if onions come out kind of like raw and crunchy, you know what I mean? So I would really have to saute that in and really, if I was going to add onions. The onions are tricky with me. Some people just love onions. They don't give the fuck. They'll eat them anyway, anyhow, any kind. I'm really picky about onions. So to play it safe, a lot of times if I'm at a restaurant, I'll just say no onions because I just don't know how they're making them, how they're cooking them, how it's going to come out. And it could ruin the whole meal for me. Because sometimes the onions are great. Sometimes they do it right. They grill them, and they're in there, and they're okay. But if they're really, the ones I hate are the little diced onions. I hate. Maybe it's just that those little diced onions. I hate. They have to be really cooked right. Wes says, I can't eat raw onions. And even, and by raw, I mean, like, I mean, I guess they could be cooked, but it's just, I guess it's how they're prepared or something. But like a nice grill, like an In-N-Out, I'll get grilled onions on the In-N-Out burger. And that's fine. You know? Webb says rehydrated onions, a lot of times small pieces. Yeah, I hate those. Those are just gross. And hey, Bill Deacon, Happy New Year to you, Bill. Thanks so much for being here. Jolie says, I love onions, cooked, raw, I don't care. Onions are weird. I did tell you, I told you guys my onion story, and maybe I'm going to retell it right now, because you always never know who heard it or who remembers it, right? And I've never liked onions. Like I say, it's just really tricky. So it depends on how they're made or how they came out or whatever. But I would say more likely or more times than not, I'm not going to like the onion. And then one time, and this was, I was, this wasn't, I was late. Let's see, I'm trying to figure how old I was when this happened. It wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was long ago because I'm 63 now. I think I was in my 40s or something. I'm trying to remember. I think, was that house in Palmdale? I think I had kids already. I think they were really little, whatever. So this is quite a while ago, over 20 years ago. So I'm like in my 40s. It's not like I'm a little kid or something. I'm just trying to paint the picture, let you guys know, the thing. Well, I'd gone through all my life not really liking onions, the whole thing. But then there was this, in the refrigerator, there were some just whole onions. And I remember I took this one onion and I kind of peeled the skin off of it. It has that little skin shit on it. And I remember I think I was walking out of the house and I had this onion. And there was something about this onion that looked really, really good. It looked fresh and it looked perfect. It was white. It was just this white onion. And, I had always seen, like, I don't know, maybe in movies or something, where someone would just take a bite out of an onion like an apple. And I did it. I just did it. I took a big old bite out of it. And I ate it, and it was delicious. There was something about this onion that was delicious. I don't know what the fuck. And I ended up eating almost like the whole onion like an apple. And there was something about about that onion that just was delicious. And I was like, wow, what is up with that? I guess I'm an adult now. I can eat onions or something. I don't know. And so it was delicious and it was good. And then I remember, I think it was a few days later or a week later or something, I thought I would try it again. And I took one bite out of this onion and I spit it out. It was gross. It was disgusting. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with this one onion that I found and I ate it like an apple. And then a few weeks later, I ate one and it was gross and disgusting. I had to spit it out, So I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I'm weird that way. Wes says it's a Happy New Year 2nd. Jolie says, hey, Bill Deacon, Happy New Year. Bill Deacon says, definitely raw onions overcooked for me. I just think they're gross for the most part. Wes Webb says, you just wasted it, laughing out loud. I don't know what that means. Jolie says, Happy New Minute. AGX1 says, there is one food that if I so much as smell, I will start gagging. Raw chestnut. I think I've only, during Christmas, I've seen people, I think, roasting chestnuts. I'm not even sure if I've ever eaten one. A roasted one. I don't know much about raw ones. West says AJX1, I have a friend like that, allergic. Julie says, I hate pecan pie, so gross. I like pecan pie. I have no problems with pecan pie. Building says onion. Is it made of onions? I don't know. It's pecans, right? Building says onions, la la la. If you know, you know. Laughing out loud. I don't know. Apparently, Wes says love pecan pie. It is if it is homemade and fresh. Um, West Webb says old pecan pie starts tasting bad fast. So pies aren't really supposed to get old. I think you're supposed to make them and then eat them. Within a day, right, or two at the most. Bill Dickens says green onions fresh from the garden are the best. Yeah, and I think we've had this conversation, not with, maybe with you, Bill, but I think just in my chats in general. Yeah, if you guys remember that movie, was Shia LaBeouf? Was it called Holes or something, right? And there's the scene where they're out in the desert and they find all these onions and they're starving to death and they just start eating the onions, and it looked delicious. It looked delicious. They actually made onions look good, right? And I bet you those were. I mean, if within that story, they probably were like really sweet and delicious. So I guess yeah, it seems like anything fresh from a garden is much better than anything you get. Um, Jolie can't even look at a pecan pie. Grosses her out. Wes says Vidalias are sweet and not so gassy. Here we go with Wes's gas problems. Wes is a gassy dude. Jolie says, yes, love green onions. I can live without them. Guys, just be honest. I can live without them. A green onion, though, I think is better. Like on Mexican food or something. Like on an enchilada or something like that. It's not too bad. Bill Dinkins says that Jolie, I'm no fan of pecan pie myself. So we've got two pecan pie. I cannot. What is the deal? I can't talk. Two pecan pie haters, apparently. Wes Webb says can't be in the same room because of the gas, apparently. Jolie says pecan pie looks like baby poop with dead bugs on top. I just can't. Well, now you've ruined it for me. I will never be able to look at a pecan pie in the same way ever again now. Thank you, Jolie. AJX1 says pecan pie is overrated. Boy, a lot of hate for the pecan pie today. I'm not saying it's my favorite. Look, I've got probably 10 other pies I'll put ahead of that. I'm just saying I don't hate pecan pie. I've had pecan pie and it wasn't. I know it looked, and I was like that too. Especially as a kid, I would never eat pecan pie because it looked gross. And I think at some point in my 20s or 30s or whatever, I ate a pecan pie and I was like, hey, this is not bad. So it looks like shit, but it's not bad. But I'll put chocolate pie is my favorite. Lemon meringue. I mean cherry, apple. You go down the list. I'll put all those ahead of pecan pie any day. Let's see here. Bill Dickens says, onions, la la la, an old Looney Tunes song. Oh. I don't remember that one. Westwest says baby onions. I think I've seen those. AJX1 says sploosh. Oh yeah, from Holes, right? Wes Webb says, don't start talking about Casey Jones. Okay. I wasn't planning on it, I don't believe. Jolie says, you're welcome. Wes Webb says, can't be where chestnuts are roasting, make her violently ill so the song doesn't work. Oh, yeah, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Wes says makes who violently ill? Who was her? Bill Dickens says French silk pie is to die for. Yes, I would agree with that. That's a good pie. That is a good one. But I'm just saying. I don't hate pecan pie. Wes Webb says, my friend Nancy, the one who drove me to work when I broke my foot. How did I not know that? I should have known right away. It was Nancy. It was Nancy who gets violently ill at Trust Nuts roasting. AJX1 says, I prefer chicken pot pie. I like a good chicken pot pie. Yeah. Those aren't bad. It's not like a dessert. That's the meal part. That's like a meal pie. Bill Deacon says, damn it, now I want pie. I know, me too. Even though I just stuffed myself, my face with cookies. West West, it didn't matter who. Okay, fine. Well, you know, it kind of did matter because you kind of referenced the person when you said make her violently ill. And then, you know, so it did kind of matter. Jolie says, get with the program, John. Yeah, I know. What the hell? Wes says, oh my, Momo pie. Momo pie? What the fuck is Momo? Oh, Nomo pie. I need new glasses. Chip, chip, cheerio, chip, chip. Oh, yes. I need, you know, when I do English accent, I usually go like this for some reason. Oh, yeah, I guess that's the stiff upper lip. And then when I do when I did like the German accent, I did this with my mouth. For some reasons. It's probably, I know those are horrible accents. I have to, have to tell you what they are in order for you to know what they are. But no mo pie, according to, oh my, no mo pie. Now I want pie. Now I'll have to go find a place. Oh, I mentioned Blueberry Hill has good pies. Did I ever get pie there? I'm trying to remember if I've ever had pie at Blueberry Hill. I've seen them in their bakeries, you know, they have their little display case of cakes and pies, and they look delicious. My daughter the other day when we went to breakfast, when she was up here a couple weeks ago, had a blueberry pie at, I think she got blueberry pie at Blueberry Hill Restaurant. And it looked delicious. And I didn't have, you know, usually I will take a bite of whatever she has, but I was just scarfing down my meal. And then she scarfed down her pie so fast, before I knew it was gone. So apparently it must have been very good. So, at some point now, I think I need to go get a pie from Blueberry Hill. I might get cherry pie. My son loves cherry pie. Cherry pie. Jolie says, I think I like Ready Whip more than pie. If I have pie, I'll get a small piece and then absolutely drown it in Ready Whip. That's pretty hilarious. AJX1 says pecan pie 4 out of 10, I guess. This is a pumpkin pie 5 out of 10, cherry pie 2 out of 10. What? Apple pie 8.5 out of 10. So you really like the apple pie. You're not a big fan of the cherry pie. I love cherry pie. You know, but it has to be good cherries, I guess. So you're putting cherry pie even below pecan pie. Wow. And after all the hatred of the pecan pie in this chat, that is saying a lot. Bill Dickens says that, Julie, laughing my ass off. I do the very same thing. You guys both have shared pie tendencies because you both hate pecan pie. I think it was right. I think it was Bill that hated the pecan pie, and you both drown your pie in the Ready Whip. I like a good Ready Whip, but I don't. I like the pie better than the Ready Whip, but you know, I'll put a little bit of. I just call it whipped cream, but you know, whatever. It's in the can, right? And you right? We're talking about the same thing, right? Wes Webb says Grandma and Mom made good Dutch apple pie. Still probably my favorite. I like Dutch apple pie. It's like crunchy on the top, right? Jolie says, I don't want to see any of that pie trying to peek out. That Bill Deacon. Wes Webb says, I spray it into my mouth sometimes. I bet you do. AJX1 says, sorry, John, we all have different things that tickle our taste buds. Yeah, don't be sorry. I mean, I was just, it just took me by surprise. I was reading those, your scores there, and then Cherry Pie comes along and only getting 2. That kind of just surprised me. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for cherry pie to be below pecan pie. But you're certainly, entitled to your own tastes and likes. I mean, like for me, pecan pie, I might put that at a 5 or a 6. Pumpkin pie, I like a pumpkin pie. And pumpkin pie, I do got to put some whipped cream on there. I'll probably put a pumpkin pie at a 6. Cherry pie, a good cherry pie, I'm going to put at 10. And a good apple, I might put cherry above apple. I might put my cherry pie at 9 or 10. And apple pie, I might put that at about an 8. Or 8.5 like you did. Wes Webb says, I like Sour Patch Kids sometimes. Like nothing else will do. Sour Patch Kids, yeah, there is something about that. It gets kind of addicting in a way, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like you start eating them and then you can't stop. And then you're like, why am I doing this? Joy says, I also like Ready Whip straight up. Yeah. Just AJX1 says, I prefer a good muffin over a pie. Wow. I mean, yeah, a good muffin. Anything that's good is good. I like a good, like a muffin with chocolate chips in it. I guess we would call that a chocolate muffin. I've had some good blueberry muffins. But I think I like pie better than muffin. I mean, a muffin is good, like if you're having coffee. Oh, pie is good with coffee too. So, Jolie says, I don't like anything sour unless it's lemon or lime after a shot of tequila. Love it. Oh yeah, well there you go. Yeah. Yeah, lick your hand, put the salt, do the thing with the thing, and then take the shot and do the thing. Yeah. Westwood says, laughing out loud. Westwood says, we are still talking food, right? Well, I hope, yeah, there could be some double entendres in there. I don't know, but I think so. Julie says, are Sour Patch Kids food? Apparently to some people. I'm trying to think, the last time I had Sour Patch Kids, I think my kids were eating Sour Patch Kids, and so then I had some of theirs. But I could live, truth be known, I could go the rest of my life without eating another Cherry Patch Kid, and I would be completely happy, or satisfied, or whatever that expression is. But this is the Trucker John channel. We are devoted to just talking about food. What says made from corn, and it's got to be good for you. Jolie says, I honestly don't know how anyone can eat those. My kids like them too. Yeah, like when they were little, they would like to get Sour Patch Kids. They're all right, but it's, it's not like I'm, like these Oreo cookies. here I am, 62 years old. How old am I? 63 years old. Wait. Yeah, 3 years old. And I love eating Oreo cookies. I probably will till the day I die. The Sour Patch Kids. No, I don't care if I ever have another one of those ever again. I don't, I won't miss those at all. Bill Dinkins says, I have a big bag of Sour Patch Kids on my nightstand as we speak. Wow. Isn't that funny? Wes Webb says, I developed the craving. After I gave up beer. You gave up beer? Really? Oh, that's right, because it's gassy or something. I don't know. And so that's odd, but that's kind of funny. Like, so you gave up beer, then you got this craving for Sour Patch Kids. That's kind of it's like you just never know, right? What's going to happen? Like I hear when people quit smoking, they get a craving for something, to take the place of that smoking, I guess, the cigarette. Wes Webb says, I have part of a big bag left. Man, you guys with the Sour Patch. That's amazing. I never really, thought there was such, I guess, demand from adults about Sour Patch Kids. I know kids love that shit. But I didn't know it was such a big thing for the grown-ups, Let's see here, and then that's not a cut down. I'm just observing. That's like an observation that I just made. AJ X1 says nothing like a hot mama pickle. Don't judge. Okay. We're still talking about food, aren't we? AJX1 says, gotta watch my sodium. Yeah, that could be a concern. Wes Webb says, I like hot pickles. Never heard of hot mama. I don't think I've ever had a hot pickle. I just had regular pickles. Your dill. Was it dill or whatever? Your dill pickles, whatever. West says, I have low sodium. Low sodium what? Low sodium pickles? Or is your body low sodium? And so you need more sodium. Do you need to take sodium supplements because you're low sodium? Bill Diggins says, Clausen. I like the Clausen. Or the deli pickle is the only kind I will eat. Yeah, I like a good Clausen. Wes says, my blood. I can eat all the salt I please. Wow. Okay. Look at you. Bragging about the salt intake. Well, use something. I probably need to get another checkup or something, but I think I'm all good. Or, I should probably get another check. It's been a while, but every time I've had, what do they call it, a run-up or whatever, when they take your blood and they take whatever, everything they do all these, tests, everything comes back good, even though I'm, morbidly obese. But, all my, I don't know the mumbo jumbo of the thing, but it all comes back good. All I know is they go, everything looks good. You're all within the good numbers. You've gotten good numbers and blah blah blah. So, but it has been a few years since I did that. I should do another one. AJX1 says, I need to limit sodium to 3,000 milligrams daily. So, is that hard to do? Because I don't really know, like, what the equivalent of that is. Is that like, how, like salty foods, like, or whatever, like, how do you watch that? How do you limit that? I guess you would know if you have that health issue, like, you're gonna know exactly what you can eat and what you can't eat, or how to do a count on that. Wes Webb says I tried to load up on salt right before my blood test, still tested low. Wow. So you were trying to you're trying to fuck with them, I guess. Huh, what? On But yeah, I'm good at. I think I'm good with my numbers. I should probably get retested though. All right. So what else is going on? We're talking about Cabbage Patch Kids and low sodium and our favorite pies and what's going on? What else is going on today? West Web says I had high blood pressure, so they told me to cut salt. I did for a while. Then the numbers went down way too low. Wow. I know if it's not one thing, it's another, right? So I guess the salt is not causing the high blood pressure. It must be something else, apparently. AGX1 says a little over a teaspoon of salt is 3,000 milligrams. Wow. So it doesn't take much. Like one like a teaspoon of salt is so you can't have more than a teaspoon of salt. And everything, I mean, probably everything is made with salt, right? Or has salt in it. So you must have to be really careful about, like how much salt is in something that you're not even adding salt to it. You just like you buy something, and there might be salt in there. I don't know, or sodium or whatever. So wow, that's not very much. 1 teaspoon. So you just gotta really not add any salt to it, and then be careful whatever you're buying. It doesn't have salt in it, I guess. Wow, that must be hard to do. Or maybe it's not as hard as I think it is. I don't know. Maybe it's not that hard. Wes says, weird how bodies all work differently. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All these things, different people, different things. AJX1 said, everywhere I go, I say no salt if possible. Yeah, so you just got to really be careful and like I remember one time, I think I was in In-N-Out or something, and somebody ordered fries, and they said, "Could you make them like?" Because I think a lot of places when they do their fries and they take them, they have the basket and they take it out of the fryer thing. I think they go ahead and they like, I think they douse them in salt. So, or at least sometimes they do. So this one guy, I think he ordered like, can I get some fries, but just like no salt, And then I think they had to make like a special, like a fresh batch for that guy, and then not salt them. Because I think they salt their fries, even though they give you salt packets. Also, in case the salt they put on wasn't enough. Here's a salt story for you. I was at my kid's place for Christmas, and we had Christmas dinner on Christmas night, Christmas day night. We had a big kind of Christmas party, And so when the food was ready, I went and made myself a plate. My ex was sitting next to me, and she just was sitting there. So I went and made a plate, and it was a really good plate. I mean, it had like all this food was great that everyone made. Like it was this honey baked ham, and there was this really great mac and cheese that my daughter made. Like it was like not just regular mac and cheese. I can't even explain it. It was really good. I don't know, and there was like somebody made these like alfalfa sprout things, or what do you call them? I don't know that I don't really eat, but they were delicious. Yeah, all this stuff I put on. There was this homemade potato salad was really good, and then I saw this thing of salt, and it said like sea salt. So it was my plate, so I was just like, I poured all this salt on it, and then when I went to sit down, I just asked my ass, I go, do you want me, because she was just sitting there, and I go, do you want me to go make you a plate? And she's like, yeah. And then I go, oh, well, I go, here, you can have this one, and I'll just go make me a plate. And she's like, okay. So I go back, and I make myself another plate of food. I pour salt all over it. I go sit down, and then I remembered about all the salt, because I was kind of heavy with the salt, and I probably overdid it. At least for me, for me it was fine. And then I asked her, I go, hey, is it too salty? And she's yeah, a little bit. And I go, oh yeah, I might have I might have put too much salt on it, you know. And then she was like, oh, no wonder. She goes, I wasn't gonna say anything, but she goes, I thought that you know, people made the food wrong or something, you know. And she ended up not eating that plate. She was like threw that plate out and made her own plate because I went too heavy on the salt. And I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do. I didn't because I was making the plate for myself, and then when I brought it back, I just thought I would. I don't know. I was just being nice. It's Christmas, and I forgot that I had been so heavy. Got the heavy hand going with the salt. Ooh, that didn't look right. That's anyhow. Um, so I kind of ruined a plate of food for her, but unintentionally. So, where am I at here? Bill Dickens says, "Damn it, one dead. Oh boy, one dead and five others injured in the Iowa school shooting. First day back from winter break. When will they learn?" Yeah, I haven't. I just saw some of the headlines of it. Was the one dead the shooter, or I guess the shooter killed? I thought I heard Nicole just say something a sixth grader. Maybe she was talking about that. And then I think the shooter's dead. But yeah, and it's just this is heartbreaking. It's just always so heartbreaking. These school shootings and any of these mass shootings. It's so heartbreaking, man. Wes Webb says, "I know sixth grader plus the shooter killed himself. Just a kid." Bill Dickens says, "Anyone else notice these shootings take place in mostly red states? Yet they claim all blue states are crime capitals." Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see the statistics on that. That probably is true. I guess. I mean, like Uvalde, that's Texas, and that's a red state. If you go to Sandy Hook, that's back in what the fuck is Sandy Hook, Massachusetts or whatever. I don't know. Sandy Hook, Connecticut. I forget where it's at. I forget where it's at, but I'm not sure if that was blue or red or purple. We've had shootings in Florida. That's red. I mean, we've had shootings everywhere. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of these red states and where their only solution is, you know, a good guy with a gun and take out the bad guy with a gun, and it will just make everything like the OK Corral, I guess. West of Chicago has a lower crime rate than Columbus, Ohio. Wow. And Columbus is basically a college town, isn't it? And Chicago, is a big city. And everybody always talks about the shootings in Chicago. Um, and when you take the crime rate, you know, it's not the highest. But yeah, that's horrible. There's another shooting. That's why we got to stop voting for Republicans, and we need to get good, gun safety laws enacted. Building says we don't have mass shootings here in Chicago. Oh, you're in Chicago too, huh? I mean, you're in Chicago, and Wes is like south, like in Illinois somewhere. All right, I believe, right? Right, Wes. I should know where you live, huh? But the thing about it is what is going on? It's just, I guess it's just too easy. Guns are just too easy to get. We need to make them harder to get. I think we need to make people have to jump through some hoops. Maybe there's a cooling off period. Maybe, and we need to have these red flag laws. I think I mean, I know some people will say just take all the guns away, but I'm not sure if that's realistic. But at least let's. Um, I don't know. We could talk about it forever. I don't know. It's just like talk, 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 talk. Nothing ever gets done. I mean, I kind of, and I know this is probably exercise in futility, or maybe what I'm about to say is just nonsense because it'll never happen. But what if, they do have non-lethal, what they call non-lethal weapons, and anything can be lethal, really, I think almost. But they have non-lethal weapons um, that shoot like, well, you have like the stun guns, and those could be lethal. But they have guns that shoot like these little chlorine pellet type of things. They have guns that shoot, the beanbag guns. They have these guns that shoot like a big net that would wrap someone in a net. I mean, there's all kinds of ways because people always talk about, I have a right to protect myself. So what if the only guns that were legal and that could be sold were these type of weapons? And then it'd be like, okay, well, this you're going to protect yourself, right? And this is for home protection. This is for self protection. And then the people will say, well, I like to hunt. Okay, so what if I don't know, you had places that you could go to? It'd be like an armory or something. And maybe you would buy a weapon or rent a weapon or whatever, and it would always be stored in this armory. And then whenever you were going to go hunting, you'd have to check it out, and then you go hunt. And when you come back, you check it back in. And in order to have that, to be able to do that, I mean, you'd have to go through an extensive background check, and you'd have to be recertified, every so often or whatever. I don't. I'm just spitballing. I'm just spitballing here, folks. And then there's people. Well, I like to go target practicing. Well, it could be the same thing. There could be gun clubs, and the gun just stays there, and you check it out, and you go do your target practicing, or you do all that kind of shit, and then you go check it back in. They lock it up, so that so no one's carrying these lethal weapons around all over the place. And the only weapons that there are these so-called non-lethal weapons, which I put in quotes because, I mean, you could take the handle of the gun and beat someone to death if you really wanted to. But I'm just saying they're made to be non-lethal. I'm just spitballing. I know it's probably nothing like that is ever going to happen, or it might be 1,000 years from now, or 500 years from now. But I guess it's just we're just spitballing here. AJX1 says feel bad for the families. Yes, of course, it's so horrible. God, it's just especially kids. Not that saying like an old person getting shot isn't bad or sad. It is, but kids, it's especially sad. It's more sad. Westweb says we had a time when kids, mostly girls, would have pepper spray fights. Oh wow, that doesn't sound very fun. Westweb says Colonial Williamsburg's Central Armory, partly because gunpowder was so dangerous. Oh yeah, and in those days, everything was made of wood, basically. Well, either I guess maybe rock or brick, but you know, there was a lot of wood structures, and you could burn the whole goddamn town down. And they didn't really have, you know, they had fire brigades, and they would have to have the bucket brigade or put a fire out. Good luck with that, right? So like, yeah, they had to be really, really careful. Um, and see, in those days, they would enact those kind of laws, and people were like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Nowadays, say if you had something like that, people are gonna be like, my Second Amendment right. I got this God-given Second Amendment right to have a gun surgically, yeah, surgically put into my hand. I have that right. That's what people. I think that's what people think. Like they have a God-given right. They can have guns coming out of every orifice of their body or something. You know, have them surgically implanted. There are limitations. Even fucking Alito, or not Alito. What's his face? Antonin Scalia. Even he, in the Hillary decision, said that there are limits. Even he was saying there are limits, folks. You can't have a fucking, you know, bazooka and carry it around for for your self protection. Okay, there are limits to what you can have and can't have, and we should put some more limits on it. I really do think we should have an assault weapons ban. Did I say banned? I'm not sure what an assault weapons ban would be like, sound like. But that's not bad. That might not be a bad idea. But an assault weapons ban. What I meant to say, a ban, or a band, whatever. It says West Webb says if you lived in the country, you had to keep your powder someplace dry and away from the house. Hence the expression, keep your powder dry. Yeah, hence the expression. Because, you know, wet powder ain't going to get the job done. And that's the thing, yeah. You live out in the country. Let's say you live out in the country and you got, I don't know, bears and coyotes and wolves. I mean, people say, well, I need a gun to protect myself from the wild animals. I mean, I guess those non-lethal weapons would work, maybe. I don't know. I'm not really, you know, an expert on this. Like I say, I'm spitballing. That's why my dad always just said, hey, a shotgun's all you need for home protection. And you could kill someone, obviously, with a shotgun. But I'm just saying, if we had, I don't know, if people just had shotguns instead of AR-15s all over the place, I mean, you could kill a bunch of people with a shotgun, but I don't know. It's just these AR-15s are just killing machines. I mean, they are fast, efficient, and they're made to kill the most amount of people in the smallest amount of time. And they're very, very efficient and very, very good for war. They're not good for just, you know, having around in civilian populations. So I think those type of weapons need to be, I think, banned. I'm sorry. I might lose some subscribers for that, but I can't lie about that. That's my honest feeling on it. You know, and these things keep happening. I don't know what the kid today. I really haven't read any stories on it. What the shooter today, what he was using. I don't know. I mean, since the body count, I mean, there was only one dead, and then what, 5 others shot. That is a relatively low body count, and so I have a feeling he wasn't using an AR. Or there just weren't that many kids around or people around to shoot. I don't know. Or the cops got there relatively quickly before he could do much more damage. Westbrook says, I'll never watch you again. Westbrook says, he must have been after that kid. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, I haven't really read any of the stories or any of the news on it. I'm in the dark on it. So, yeah, maybe it was revenge thing, or they got into a fight. Maybe I don't know. And that's sad. Like uh, when I was a kid. This is stupid stories, I guess, to try to say when I was a kid. But I mean, we'd be getting fights, and then that was it. And hey, look, I wasn't some ass kicker. I mean, I would win fights and I would get my ass kicked sometimes. I got my ass kicked, and then but I don't know. It wasn't that big of a deal. I don't know. It's like it was just a part of growing up. Kids fight, especially Wes was talking about the girls with the spraying each other, and so I guess girls. I saw lots of girl fights too. I mean, there were girl fights, got boy fights, and it's not always pleasant. It can be kind of scary in those times, especially like I think junior high was the worst. Out of elementary school, junior high, and high school, I think junior high was the fucking worst as far as like kids fighting. That was weird, but it wasn't like I never got into a fight and then felt like I needed to go get a gun and get revenge or something. I guess if it was something, maybe if I was getting the shit beat out of me every day and nothing was happening to stop it or something. I don't know. But because every fight I got into was just kind of random, I mean, it wasn't like I was ever getting picked on because I was always kind of one of the bigger kids. So it wasn't like I had people really picking on me or bullying me. It would just be kind of a random thing that would happen. And like I say, sometimes I won, sometimes I lost, but it was usually over when it was over, and we usually would become friends afterwards because it was like a mutual battle or something, and we kind of had respect for each other because we just duked it out. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I don't know what happened. I shouldn't even be talking because I have no idea what happened with this story with these kids here, but it's sad, and it sucks. And where did the kid get the gun? Wes says we'll find out more later. Wes says like everybody was speculating about the Epstein list last night. Tonight is old news. Yeah, because it was a nothing burger. It didn't really tell us anything all that new, right? Wes says girl bite and scratch and pull hair. Don't forget that. Wes Webb did an exclamation point for some reason. And Wes Webb said boys. Boys. Jolie says, I don't bite or scratch. I grab the closest hard object and swing. There you go. That'll do it. Wes Webb says, I forgot about the hair pulling. Oh yeah. Don't forget about the hair pulling. Don't forget about that, because anyhow. But we live in a gun culture, and we make obtaining guns far too easy. I think that's the bottom line. AJX1 says, is it true Stephen Hawking went to Epstein Island? I don't know. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear the last couple of days they've been reading names off the list. Really all I've heard is Bill Clinton, Dershowitz, then they brought up and these are people that they said weren't accused of any wrongdoing. It was like Michael Jackson, who may have been really upset because there were no boys there for him. And the magician that's here at MGM Grand, what's his name? Copperfield. I didn't hear Hawking's name, but maybe, I don't know. Wes Webb says, could you imagine guys fighting like that, going straight for the balls, fight over? Oh, you don't think there are guys that do that? Oh, Wes. There are guys. I don't have to imagine. Both giving and receiving. I've kicked guys in the balls before. Of course, that might have been, after you're in it, and you're just like, yeah. Um, it's been so long since I had a fight. Been in a fight. It's been, I can't even remember, 40 years or something. I guess, I don't know. Actually, a little less than 40 years. Probably 35 years since I've been in a fight. Um, but yeah, that's one of the things you learn how to. If you take any kind of martial arts, one of the things they teach you, that's a vulnerable spot you go for. Not that I've taken a lot of martial arts, but I have taken a little bit. I got a yellow belt somewhere, I think. Um, Taekwondo when I was about 12. Um, but yeah, that happens. That happens. West says in a deadly fight, not in competition. Oh, well, competition. I didn't know we were talking about competition. I thought we were just talking about, you know, kids fighting in the schoolyard type of thing. Building says thumb to the eye works well. Yeah, yeah. Those are all those vulnerable spots. Eyes, um, even the ears. You know, the nut sack, um, fingers, whatever. But yeah, and now we are talking about deadly. Self defense. Where you're doing anything that's like if you're getting mugged, right? We're talking about basically. Not just, because there is a difference. That's fair. If you're getting mugged by some unknown assailant, you're going to do whatever you can at some point to get away and flee and do whatever you need to do. If you're in a fight at school, it is more like, I don't know. You don't really feel like I never felt like, whenever I got in a fight, I never felt like the person was going to kill me or I was going to kill them. I just felt like, what the fuck is this asshole doing? Why is he fucking fighting me or whatever? You know what I mean? And just defending myself as best as I could and trying to land some punches. That's basically it, right? Or a few kicks. Hey, I saw a fight the other day. I was at Albertsons. I just remembered this. Then I forgot about it. And it was kind of interesting. It was like these were like probably, I don't know, I guess we were high school kids. But they were kind of like big kids, but they were like, I would say high school age. And then these two dudes, because I was in my car, I parked and I was in my car and I was on the Albertsons app because I was looking at the app for deals or whatever. And then I look over and I see this thing going on where there was these two dudes, and then there was like their friends were kind of around there, and one guy had his dukes up, and the other guy was kind of standing back, and then they're like, and his other friends, some friends were trying to stop him, and then they got close, and they actually, one kid, he threw a couple blows, but he missed because the other kid ducked or he went back, and this guy was kind of throwing these big haymakers, and he missed. But I gave the guy kudos because he was at least trying, right? And then the kid who missed, then he throws this like side kick up, which missed. But still, I'm almost like applauding him because I'm going, give the guy some credit. He's fucking trying, And then the other kid who was kind of just darting around and kind of fast, and he would go in and out. And then he actually got into the guy, and then he landed a good shot, like right across the guy's face, like his chin or something. Gave him a pretty good pop, kind of knocked his head back a little bit. And then as soon as he was one of those kind of dudes, like he would punch and then he like would run away, kind of like, you know what I mean? And then his friend, like the friends were trying to break him up, and they would kind of break up, and then they get back together. And this is all in the parking lot, right? Just a few spaces down from where I was parked, but it's like in the front of the store. And so they're going around, but and then I don't think there was any more. I'm trying to remember if there was any more blows that got landed, but and then the friends were always like grabbing them, and they were trying to break them up, and then they were separated, and then they would start talking shit again, and then they would come together, and then finally they left. I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody called security or whatever, but I guess they finally left. But yeah, I saw that fight in the parking lot, and I was kind of like, I wonder what's going on. I don't know, I kind of felt like, gee, I wonder why are they fighting? I mean, what was it? Who knows, right? These guys are high school age kids, and they fight for anything, for any reason. But it looked like it was just, it didn't look like anyone was going to pull a knife out or a gun out or anything like that. So I didn't feel bad about it. I felt like this was just like a good old fashioned two dudes, just having words, and it reached the point where they were going to throw down a little bit. And so, I think they're all okay. But I saw that. But that was like kind of exciting. And I don't want kids to get hurt. But if they're gonna fight, they're gonna fight. But I don't want anyone to get shot or anything like that. Or that'd be horrible. West says you were talking about fighting for fun. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Jolie says, "Oh, do you have any pics of 12-year-old John in a karate outfit?" I don't know. I know I got my pictures of my kids in their karate outfits. I don't think I do. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I don't have any here. I'm thinking about my storage, or maybe my parents who are dead, long gone dead, but they've got pictures somewhere that hopefully my siblings haven't thrown out. I don't know. AJX1 says, when I was in middle school, we had Wiener Whack Wednesday. Wow. We never had that where I went to school. West Coast says, that sounds like a principal's nightmare, AJ. West Coast says, kid fights look like all-star wrestling most of the time. Well, yeah, like I said, the fight I saw, these guys were like, at least high school age, and they weren't wrestling. They were throwing punches. Like I said, I only really saw one connect, one pretty good shot. But I can remember watching a lot of kind of epic fights in junior high, ones that I wasn't in. I'm not sure if those were epic or not, but the ones that I remember watching were like some of the real, what I call the A-lister dudes. Sometimes they would get into it with each other, and those were kind of like epic fights. Let's see here. Wes says, the main lesson I had to learn was not to get in the middle. Yeah. I remember there was a kid, there was one of these fights, I think it was 9th grade, and it was Jody McGowan, who was like this little stud dude, and it was this other kid. God, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name now, but they were kind of two of the big kids, and they were fighters, big fighter brawler dudes, and they got into this fight. And of course, everyone gathers around, and this is one of those fights that moved across the campus, And I remember this kid, Paul Mount. He was just watching the fight, right? And he wasn't trying to break him up or anything, and he was just kind of standing there watching the fight. And these guys are just going at it, kind of. And something happened where one of the guys was throwing, and I think he got pushed or turned around, and he just was throwing his punch, and he hit Paul Mount like right across the face and knocked poor Paul. Paul was just like this little dude, and just knocked him on his ass. And it was like totally like an accident, because these two dudes were fighting each other. They weren't hitting other people, but Paul took one, and I remember a lot of people were kind of laughing. And I know it sounds bad to laugh at something like that, but a lot of us were like, "Oh, did you see Paul? He just got clocked," Poor Paul. If he ever sees this, he's going to be mad that I brought that up 50 years later or whatever. But I still remember that because it was funny and it was unusual. I mean, usually the two kids fighting are just fighting each other, unless there are people trying to break it up, and then they might get into it. But Paul wasn't trying to break it up; he was just watching the fight, and he got clocked. Um, what says pull one off and away. You kind of got to let them fight, I think, unless someone's just getting the shit beat out of them, and you're like, okay, that's enough. West Webb says we had a bloody playground. We had a few bloody playground fights in my 40 years. I remember one time I was in junior high school and I didn't get involved in it because hey, look, like I said, whenever I got into a fight, it was just like a random thing, usually. I mean, it was just kind of a rando thing where something just happened. But I remember one time I was in the bathroom taking a piss or something, and there was this other dude I knew. He was kind of like this big black kid. And I saw him, I don't know, he had like a screwdriver. And me and him were good. We're like kind of like friends, I guess. And I think he was sticking the screwdriver like in his pants or in his pocket or something. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing with the screwdriver? And he's like, he goes, we're having a rumble on the football field after school. And I was like, and I'm thinking like a rumble, and I'm thinking of like old movies I saw of the 50s, like they would have rumbles, right? Like, you know, and it was just such a weird turn. Even for me, this is like in the 70s. This is like in the 70s, right? Mid 70s or something. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, you gonna be there? And I was like, no, I wasn't planning on it. And I guess it was basically it was a group of, it was like blacks against Mexicans or something. And I guess they would have these rumbles, and I guess they would have weapons. And I was like, no thanks, man. I'll stick this one out, even though I was never really invited. I mean, I was a white guy. I wasn't part of either one of those groups, but that was weird. And I guess they have big rumbles out on the football field with weapons. I don't know if anyone got killed or stabbed. Apparently, they bring in screwdrivers out there. But I thought that was kind of odd, kind of weird, and kind of scary. But I didn't go to it. And I did have another story. Maybe I told the story where I did get surrounded by a Mexican gang because I got into a fight with this other white kid who apparently, and I beat the shit out of him, and apparently he was good friends with some Mexican guy who was in this Mexican gang. And the next thing I know, this Mexican gang came after me. I don't know if I want to get in that big story right now, but that was junior high school in Victorville, California. So, of all places, right? This says Tough Man Competition by West Webb. West Webb says both came back in bawling. Okay. I bet. They weren't so tough after all, were they? AJX1 says, I used to break up fights. Now that I'm older and wiser, I let it be. Oh, yeah. Like that fight I saw, I wasn't about ready. I wasn't even going to get out of the car. I'm like, hey, I'm 63 years old and I'm not doing shit. There was enough people around. If they wanted to do whatever they wanted to do, they could do whatever they were going to do. But pretty much everyone just let them be because, like I said, it was just a fight. It wasn't like anyone, it didn't look like no one pulled out a gun or a knife. Although you never know, right? You just never know. These days, especially. West Webb says at school, we were obligated to intervene. Yeah, well, that's different. If you're a teacher or an administrator, or something, that's a whole different thing. Jolie says rumbles. Yeah, he called it a rumble. I remember I thought, rumble? Does that still go on? This is like in 1974 or something. And, and I remember rumbles like, what was it like, West Side Story or whatever, or Grease or whatever, I'm thinking, yeah, they had rumbles in the 50s. But he called it a rumble, and they were having a rumble, apparently. Bill Dickens says, like The Outsiders. Oh, yeah, you know what? I remember that movie. That's with, Ralph Macchio and Matt Dillon and all those guys. And Tom Cruise was in that too, wasn't he? I know all the people in it, but I don't think I ever saw that movie, or maybe I did, and I just don't remember it. I just remember, was that black and white, and they were wearing like biker jackets and shit. West Webb says most of the time the kids want you to stop them. Well, at least one of them does probably. The one who's getting his ass kicked. West Webb says amazing, amazing, simply amazing. West Webb says I saw it, but don't really remember. Oh, The Outsiders. AJX says Rumble sounds horrendous. That's what they used to call them when they would have gang fights, basically. A rumble. We're having a rumble. They would actually like schedule it. Where they were at. Like they would schedule a rumble, and they would meet in, one gang against the other, and just fight each other. Which I don't mind if they're just gonna fight each other, like fist fight each other. But they bring screwdrivers and they bring chains and they bring pipes, and probably evolved into knives, and then they start bringing guns. If you want to just have a fist fight, yeah, although fist fights, there was a fist fight in when I lived in Palmdale. There was a kid. Well, I guess you call it a fist fight, but I guess one kid was kind of picking on this other kid, and then the other kid turned around and slugged him, and the kid fell and hit his head on the concrete, and I think he died. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the kid died, and so that could happen. So it's not like fist fighting is just, oh, it's just good, clean fun, or not clean fun. It's just, it's not that. It can be dangerous. You could kill someone, or someone can get killed in a fist fight, so it's not, I don't mean to like, make it sound all like fine and dandy and, Westwood says, amazing was one of your stories. Can't remember which one. Oh, okay. But I probably do have a lot of amazing stories. Bill Diggins says Warriors come out and play. Yeah, oh yeah, the Warriors. Yeah, I like that movie. It's kind of a funny movie. I watched it. I remember when it came out. I really liked it, and then I watched it fairly recently, maybe a few years ago or something. I think I watched it again, and then you can see how over time it just looks kind of silly, but it's kind of a fun movie, to see all these gangs and how they, each gang had their own costumes and stuff. AGX1 says, the scariest thing I saw in middle school was a guy eating Nesquik chocolate powder with a spoon. Well, if that was the scariest thing you saw, then you should count your lucky stars, probably. Jolie says, make sure you hit that thumbs up or we'll have to rumble. That's right. You tell him, Jolie. Let's see, what do we got? 7 watching, 12 thumbs up. So we're down to 7. I think people are maybe not liking the subject matter. I don't know. Maybe I should go get some more cookies and talk about pies. I don't know. But anyhow, for the folks that are here, I appreciate you being here and hanging out. We're just hanging out. We're just hanging out and shooting shit, talking about whatever comes up. It's a freeform program here. We started off with cookies and then pies, and then we got somehow into rumbles. That's funny, isn't that that one social media thing? Is that Rumble or whatever? Westwood says Rumble movie genre. Genre. Why can't I say genre? I can't say it now. Genre. The genre. I know which is genre. The genre. What genre is that? It doesn't sound right. You ever say a word that you've said a million times and all of a sudden it doesn't sound right? Well, I'm experiencing that right now with genre. But yeah, so they were rumbling. They had a rumble. I guess apparently every Thursday at the football field at 4:35. Don't be late. And bring your own screwdriver. Just bring your own screwdriver. Bring your own screwdriver night here at the Rumble at the football field. No pipes though, please. Only screwdrivers and a small Allen wrench. That's all you can bring to the Rumble, please. And we will be checking at the gate. Jolie says, everyone behave in the chat or we're going to Rumble. That's right. Westweb says, day after Weenie Wednesday. Right. After Wacky Weenie Wednesday, the next day is the Rumble. And then we'll have Fat Lip Friday. Okay. Come on, get your fat lip. Gonna give you a fat lip on Friday. We could go through the whole day of the week and just be sillier and sillier. So I'm gonna stop right there at Fat Lip Friday. Okay, that's where I'm gonna stop. Don't want to give anyone a fat lip, but if you don't give me a thumbs up, maybe I will. No, that's Jolie's department. Jolie deals in the violence, not me. I'm just a easygoing guy. Okay, I knew Wes was gonna do this. Muffin Monday, Taco Tuesday, Weenie Wednesday, and Rumble Thursday. Thursday, by the way. Okay, so we're gonna go more food oriented during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Kind of build up your strength and get ready for Rumble Thursday. Apparently. Bill Dickens says shit kicking Saturday. Yep. Got your shit kickers on? Because it's shit kicking Saturday. Ba-dum-bum. Make sure you got your shit kickers on because it's shit kicking Saturday and you don't want to be caught without those. We got AJX1 is chiming in with Titty Twist Tuesday. Oh, yeah. Remember those titty twisters? Oh, man. And there was a guy, and this was in high school, and he did it before lower grades, I'm sure. But he would give you a titty twister. Like, out of blue, his deal was like, when you least expect it, he would get you. And it would hurt, and then you would almost get in a fight with the guy because he was doing it. But then, he was a big guy, actually, they didn't really want to mess with. So about all you could do was just push him off of you and say, God damn it, Eddie, fuck you, type of deal. You motherfucker, that's about all I could do. Because then you look like, an asshole too. Like, he's just kidding, Wes Webb says, Thor was always ready to rumble. Wes Webb laughing out loud. Wes Webb, that hurts. It does hurt. And then Hedge Enemy is here. Hey there. Is this a telethon? Yes, this is a telethon. Please donate to the Shit Kickin' Saturday crew. Or did you mean marathon? I don't know. But thanks for being here, Hedge Enemy. We're just shooting the shit. We're just talking nonsense and silliness. Mainly silliness, I think, more than anything. I don't know why I did that, because I was like, I was going to go into a British accent, actually, and then I decided not to. I thought better of it, and then there I go. Julie says, John, if you say Fat Lip Friday one more time, we're going to rumble. Why is that so funny to me? I haven't stopped laughing since you said rumble. I'm dying over here. I know, it just sounds ridiculous, right? We're going to rumble on, hey, do you need a screwdriver? Because we're going to rumble tonight after school. It's just, but it was true. It was an actual true thing. But it's funny. Westweb says, "Hey, enemy, might be Buddha. Buddha? Not sure what that means. I mean, I know who Buddha is, or I know of Buddha." Westweb says, "Hey, Edge Enemy." Oh wait, I already read that. But I will say Fat Lip Friday a couple more times. Jolie said, "Hey, Edge Enemy." And Hedge Enemy says, Merci beaucoup. Ooh, merci beaucoup. Ooh. Getting all fancy with the French. Westweb says Lord Buddha. Okay. Hedge Enemy says, I think it means they've been smoking. What? Merci beaucoup. Bill Deacon says, I'll never forget the Texans when I was a Marine walking about Oceanside, California, looking like cowboys until they got jumped by the locals. They changed their look quite quick. So were the Texans also, were they Marines like stationed there, or just Texans? So the Oceanside, the surfers didn't dig the cowboy look, huh? Some of those surfers could be fucking little badasses. Too, and can be kind of assholes, to tell the truth. AGX1 says, I don't mean to stereotype, I mean, they're not all assholes. But I've known some surfers. AGX1 says, Rumble has a romantic, intimate feel to it. We're going to rumble. I don't know. That didn't sound right. Bill Diggins says, yes, at Trucker John. I wonder if that would happen today. Was this a while back? I wonder if that would really happen today. Like, it seems like, I mean, I know going down to the beach, we would have some run-ins with some of the surfers down there. We weren't wearing cowboy hats and shit, but we were like desert hicks. We were like just desert hicks. I said that twice. And there would be a clash. There was something about us that sort of set us apart. We weren't, like I said, we were just wearing t-shirts, and maybe we weren't board shorts. Maybe our shorts weren't short or weren't long enough or something. I don't know. But I remember getting some run-ins down there, like at the beach and stuff. Westwood says anything goes in California. At least on the beach, they're all kinds of freaks. At least on the beach, there's all kinds of freaks. Bill Deacon says, John, it wasn't the surfers that jumped them. It was local gangbangers. Yeah, that's true. That I kind of do forget about all the gangs. There are lots of gangs, especially back then, and they're all now even more. And yeah, that's you get in the wrong spot, you can get jumped, man. Bill Deacon says, Trucker John, this was back in the early 90s. Yeah, that shit goes on. AJX1 says, imagine meeting a girl at the bar and hitting her with the, so you want to head to my place and rumble? Hey, that might work. That could work. You never know. Hey, look, I've probably said stupider things at the bar. Westweb says at 1980 we were all wearing cowboy hats. Back in Illinois, were you? I had a few cowboy hats in my day, but I didn't really wear them around. I mean, I remember somehow I got a cowboy hat, and not when I was like 6. I had a cowboy hat, but I remember like having some cowboy hats, but I didn't really wear them around. Somehow I got a cowboy hat. I'm just trying to remember. But I didn't really wear it around, so I don't know. Westweb says, let's get ready to rumble. Oh, yeah, see there? Michael, what's that guy's? Michael Binder, or Michael, what's the guy's name? The famous ring announcer guy. Was that the lead-in for wrestling or football? Well, it was wrestling. Or no, it was, well, it could be whatever he was doing. I think he would do boxing and he would do wrestling, that guy, right? And then he may have branched it out to maybe a football game or two. But I think it was mainly, I think he would mainly do boxing matches, right? That guy. Julie says, I kind of like that, AJ. That's a line I haven't heard before. Yeah, like I said, it could work, if you say it right and it just works and it comes out, and You just never know. My philosophy was basically you just throw as much shit up against the wall and see what sticks. Um, Bill Dickens says, great pickup line. See, people are like, they're kind of agreeing with you there, AJ. West Webb says, Iowa, Indiana, Missouri, Kentucky, Midwest. Well, yeah, that stands to reason. Lots of, agricultural, lots of farmers. Farmers wear cowboy hats. It's not just cowboys that wear cowboy hats. Wes says, 6 people need to hit the thumb. Thank you, Wes, for that reminder. Let's hit the thumbs ups and all that good stuff. Bill Dickens says, never got into cowboy look. Again, remember my company commander telling us before Liberty, don't be running around in your garbage can lid size belt buckle in your 20-gallon hats. Yeah, like in other words, don't make yourself a target, right? For people who want to fuck with you because they don't like that shit, apparently. West Webb says, all the way down to Texas. Yeah, there was a big cowboy craze. Remember the John Travolta movie? I always forget the name of it. Urban Cowboy? There we go. That was right there. That was 1980, and that was a big hit movie, and that was when Gillies was big. And they actually had the bull riding thing in these bars, and it was a big craze. Stephanie B2's in the house. Thanks, Stephanie, for being here. 10 viewers. I see 13 thumbs ups. We want more thumbs ups. West Webb said Mexicans wear cowboy hats too. Yes, they do. And as they should. Bill Dickens says, yeah, don't stick out like a sore dick. Sorry, ladies. 72 says, hey, Jolie. Hey, 72, you caught us just in time. We're talking about cowboy hats and pickup lines and all that good stuff. And how to not stick out like a sore dick. And apparently, Fat Lip Friday is on the list too. So. Hedge Enemy says cowboy hats are modified sombreros. Yep, there's all kinds of cowboy hats. Big ones, little ones. West Webb says just refreshed and the thumbs up magically appeared. Oh, so you didn't you need to refresh. It's good to refresh every now and then. 72 says, I'm paying with another weed jar. Oh. Are you paying for another weed jar? I don't know. 72 says, laughing at Wes, I guess, is that what that was? About the refreshing, I guess. 70 says, hey, Bill. Yeah, playing with another weed jar. And West Webb says, Stephanie, that's a hug, I think. I mean, and then and Wes says playing. I was wondering that too. Playing as in trying to open it, maybe. I don't know. 70 Beaches says adding molds to weed jars. Why do you want mold in your weed jar? 72 says Wes, whatever that emoji is. Well, alrighty then. So Stephanie B2 is bringing the weed. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to bring the weed. 'Cause I'm all out. West Webb says hugs. 72 B2 says hummingbird, dragonfly, frog, snail, and ferns. That sounds like some sort of witch's brew, doesn't it, Wes? AJ X1 says, is that like a psychedelic? I know I spelled that wrong. It could be. Those could be psychedelics. I'll take some dragonfly, man. You got any dragonfly? Because I want to get fucking roasted. Is that how the kids say it today? Westweb says, laughing out loud, Stephanie is not a witch. She is an angel. All right. You should know, because you seem to know that you can differentiate. I just thought it sounded like, when you talk, when the witches put in all this stuff, like, what is it they put in there? All that weird stuff. The witch's brew. But I'll go with psychedelics. I like the idea of being psychedelics. It's like, yeah, man, give me some ferns. Because I want to trip balls, man. 72, let's see, did I skip anything? 72B2 says, I wish I had shrooms. Shroomin'. 72, oh, thanks, Wes. Building says, are those new strains, Stephanie? AGX1 says, I'll take the Moldy Moss OG. 72 says, fairy stuff, not hairy stuff. But there'll probably be some hairy stuff, but fairy stuff. I even have troll doors. Wow. Yeah, let me get a package of those troll doors. Let me get some dragonfly and some fern and to go. Could be tripping balls all weekend. Wes Webb says, I'm thinking that she is attaching ceramic animals to decorate her marijuana canister. Oh, Mr. Wes Webb, you're so practical. 72 says, nah, I put Obama Kush and alien runts in them. There you go. Now you're talking. 72 says, you got it, Wes. 72 says, air dry clay, actually. Air dry clay. Well, that sounds fun. Sounds like a fun little hobby. I was actually hoping, to trip balls, but all right, whatever. Wes Webb says, I had mushrooms in a slushie. All I remember was laughing about nothing until I fell asleep. Doesn't that sound nice? Just laughing about nothing and then drifting off to sleep. Wes Webb says bisque. Excuse me? I beg your pardon? Who you calling a bisque? AJ1 says, whatever you is fine, just not nitrous oxide. Yeah, I haven't done that. But I remember there was issues with kids doing that and like kind of ODing on it or something. But they would have that at parties, and it could be kind of dangerous. I think it's all fun because it makes your voice high or whatever. But I guess you can do that wrong, right? You can fuck up on that shit. 72 says, I make the molds, and while they are wet, I glue them on, trying not to smush them. That must be the challenging part, right? Is gluing them on while they're wet. Maybe you should wait till they're dry. I don't know. But then I guess you want it to mold around the thing. That's why you mold. So I'm stupid. Wes Webb says, it wasn't entirely fun. As many of you know, I never like being out of control, laughing out loud. 72 says, Wes, that's why I like them. I laugh a lot. Wes Webb says, and then do you bake them? I guess talking to Stephanie B2 about the molds that she puts on the thingamajigger. Julie says, I used to eat shrooms all the time. Haven't done it in 25 years. My brother wants to do some soon. I'm not sure about it. Scared now. Yeah, I don't know if because that's like me. Like I hadn't smoked any pot for like 30 years or whatever, and then I had that pot, a couple months ago, or whatever it was, and I didn't like it. I thought I was gonna like it because really all of my experiences of getting high in you know the 70s and 80s, I guess, um, pretty good. Like I said, it always made me feel what I called it paranoid, but actually I think it was more vulnerability. It made me feel vulnerable to being not being able to defend myself because I just felt so loosey goosey and you know what I mean. Um, but I never I never got into a fight. That's the thing with alcohol. I got into a bunch of fights. With pot, I never got into a fight. I never did anything stupid. I never broke anything. But when I was drunk, I broke shit not because I was mad or angry. It was because I was clumsy and I would fall over shit. Or I was inebriated. Um, I don't remember really. I don't remember any bad experience as far as like that on pot on weed. Um, so I thought it'd be a good thing. So like a couple months ago when I smoked that weed, I didn't like it. It just made me feel cloudy and like in a fog, and I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't like it. So I wonder, like, if you did shrooms like a long time ago, and then you do them now after all this time, I wonder what it would, I would have hesitations, I guess, because I think I don't know, things change. 72 says yes, the hummingbird beak was challenging. Challenging, excuse me. I just a little indigestion there. And then no, I don't have to bake them. Hedge enemy says stuff is way stronger now. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's the thing too. I've always heard that the pot now, the weed, is not like your grandfather's weed. Which would then when they say that, I guess they're talking about me because I'm like the grandfather age, even though I'm not really a grandfather. But but it wasn't stronger. Like I didn't. It wasn't stronger in a good way. It was strong. But it was very just. And plus, what kind was that? I forget now if that was like a what do you call it, sativa or what do they call all these different things? So whatever it was, I don't know. I didn't really like it. Westweb says, although I still have some gummies, and the gummies didn't seem to be too bad. But how would I know? Because I kind of did everything all at once. Because I had that vape thing, and then oh, you know what? I didn't do the pre-roll, did I? I don't know, but I got rid of it. Westweb says, Timothy Leary said everybody needs to take LSD after they become 70. Really? Well, Timothy Leary was a weirdo. I took LSD when I was 18, I think, or something. I don't know. It might have been bad LSD because I don't remember really tripping. The thing that I tripped on was mescaline. I really tripped balls on the mescaline. Um, AJ1 says, and that was when I was a little bit older. I was 20, I think. AJ, and that's a hallucinogen. It's not LSD, so I don't know. AJX1 says, makes me extremely insecure. Yeah, is it about the weed? That's probably the word, insecure. I was thinking vulnerability, paranoia. But that was in the old days. Now, this stuff that I got when I tried it a couple months ago, it just made me feel like I was in this deep fog. I didn't like it. 72 says, I haven't either, Jolie. And until they're legal here, I can't because I get randomly drug tested by pain management. Oh, those bastards. 72 says, wait, what's the test called for shrooms? Maybe they don't have a test. Maybe not. Jolie says, you smoked way too much that night, John. If I'm hitting a cart, I take a few hits at a time. You were smoking like a joint. And didn't you eat an edible? Yeah, I had at least one edible. Maybe more than one. I forget now. Maybe a couple. And then, yeah, I hit that cartridge, whatever you call it. Yeah, I was hitting it hard, huh? Well, I'm used to the old days. You just puff, puff, pass it on. Someone puff, puff, it comes back to you, puff it, pass it down, and you're just like, puffing away. Or you're on the bong, and you're just like, you know. Or you got the little pipe thingy, the little porcelain pipe, and you just are just, hitting it, hitting it, hitting it. That's what I was used to. That was my memories of the 80s or whatever, in the 70s. Let's see. West Webb says, gotta wait for a minute, figure out what it's going to do, what it's doing to you. Jolie says, 70B2, do they even test for that? That's what we're wondering. West Webb says, sativa makes you crazy. Really? It didn't make me crazy. Maybe that wasn't sativa. I forget now. I think it said it on there. West Webb's what it was, but I forget. Indica makes you sleep. It might have been indica. I don't know. Because I felt kind of I did feel kind of drowsy and sleepy and stuff. 72 says, Jolie, now that I think about it, I don't think so. I just got test results back and don't remember seeing it. I've never tried LSD. Jolie says, I like hybrids or indica, never sativa by itself. Gives me anxiety. Hey, Janemy says, you crazy. You cray. 72, I'm not sure who you're talking to, but maybe all of us. I don't know. 72 says, I don't do sativa at all. West Webb says, they can run all the tests through pee. I think you're talking about urine. But the one they do for narcotics is different than the one they do for weed. Jolie says, I used to take a lot of LSD too. Wow. 72. LSD is more intense and lasts longer, but I think shrooms are better. I did shrooms. And that was in when I was in college, down at College of the Desert in the early 80s. West Webb says, I don't say dope. The one they do for dope is different than the one... I didn't say dope. The one they do for dope is different than the one they do for dope. Laughing out loud. Okay. Adam Westish, hey there. On a call, but love you, man. Love you, man. Thanks, Adam Westish, for being here, even though you're on a call. Glad to see you. Jumping in here. AJX1 says, there is no test for shrooms. 70B2 says, my years ago, or maybe many years ago, I don't know, say opiate this and opiate that. My tests say opiates. So they're testing for opiates, which is like heroin, things of this nature. I don't know. Bill Dignan says, indica for me, baby. West Webb says, House Sparks says to be specific about your dopes. Sounds like a cop to me. 70B2 says, yay, shroom me, baby. West Webb says he's playing games with Tony, laughing out loud. Who's playing games with Tony? And who's Tony? Tony, is that the one we're talking about? Has that other channel that competes with me? Not Tony Michaels, but the Tony that's with the Diane, what's it call it? Person. 72 says pain pills. Oh, yeah, opiates, pain pills. 72 says, gotta go, have fun, guys. All right, Steph, thanks for being here. I didn't mean to bog us down with all this drug talk, but thanks for being here, and hope to see you again. Tuesday, Thursdays mainly, and on Fat Lip Fridays. We're starting a new day. Fat Lip Friday is going to be one of my days now. West Webb says they have better tech. They have better tech than we do. Then do we? Who has better tech than we do? Do we? I don't know who has the better tech. Tony? Julie says, take care, 72. Julie smiling or laughing. West says, bye, Stephanie. We love you. We love you. Bill Deacon says, bye, Stephanie. Alrighty, so yeah, have a good one, Steph. We'll see you. West says, Tony and Adam. So Tony and Adam have better tech than we do. Well, good for them. I don't know about everyone's tech. My tech is pretty, it's pretty basic. Yeah, basic. I have an old iPad. What is it? 6th generation iPad. I got an iPhone 14 Pro Plus or whatever the fuck that is. That's pretty good tech. That's it. I'm doing this live stream from an iPhone. I'd like to do, and it's off my Wi-Fi here. I need to get a new laptop. That's what I need to do. But right now, just saving up for it. But, and then someday we will have a better show than anybody else's. Except for Liberal Dan's. I don't know if I'll ever be able to top Liberal Dan's show because he has a really good show. But definitely better than House Sparks. Definitely better than Tony Michaels. Definitely better. Okay, not really. I'm just kidding. I'm just wishful thinking on that. Those guys all have great shows. So. But I will someday copy the shit out of them and do their. I'm just going to steal from them as far as a program or a show. Did you notice the shaking? It's because I put that's not an earthquake. My feet hit this table, the legs of this table. So don't be alarmed. There's no earthquake going on right now. Have you heard of that? There was a bunch of earthquakes in Japan, wasn't there, a few days ago? And I don't know if there was officially any tsunamis, but there were some really high waves off California. And I saw some video of these waves coming in on, was Oxnard or Ventura or something? And, or Santa Barbara? I don't know. But wherever it was, and it was kind of scary, Some scary stuff with these earthquakes in the ocean that cause tsunamis. Don't want that. Don't want to be near it. Don't want to be near a tsunami. That'd be too scary. Especially at my age, I can't outrun it. Like if you see the wave coming, and then you just start booking it like towards inland as much as you can. I am so slow. There's no way. I can't run anymore. I can't. Like even in my younger days, I wasn't that fast of a runner, but I think I could still maybe, if I had enough warning, where I could hightail it up to some highland, inland, and maybe get out of the way. But now I'm just at the mercy of the tsunami. West Webb says, and Hawaii. I guess Hawaii had some waves too. Oh, well, I skipped one of your things. West Webb says big waves both sides, including Japan and Hawaii and California. California had some high waves too. And that's a long way from Hawaii and Japan, actually. But it just goes right across. Goes right on across there, by golly. So anyhow, I think I might wrap it up here in a couple minutes. I got to go out and do some Uber driving. Got to go make that money. Got to make that money, so I can buy me a new laptop. So yeah, I'm gonna go out driving here in a little bit. West Webb says, I like waves, not to surf, but maybe wade and watch. I used to do a lot of body surfing. Like I said, I didn't really learn how to surf. I tried surfing a couple times, but I was a desert hick, and I wasn't really, the best athletic kind of guy. Some guys could get on a board and it comes natural, I guess. Like my cousin, he's much more athletic. My cousin Dan. I think we rented some boards one time, and he actually was able to get up on the board kind of ride a wave for like 15 seconds or something. I don't know. I would get up on it and just kind of fall right over. That's how much of a klutz I was. This is when we were like, I don't know if we were in high school or if we were junior high or high school age. I forget now. But, I was never really that athletic or whatever. But I would body surf, and I had fun body surfing, and you could catch waves body surfing. Some of these really good waves, and you could ride that wave almost all the way in to until your belly hit the sand, or whatever, or the bottom of the ocean there, on the shallow part. But I remember I was at Laguna Beach. I think it was Laguna Beach, and this is when I was. How old was I? I'm trying to think if I was still in high school, or I might have been out of high school. Might have been in my early 20s or sometime in my 20s. And there were some massive waves. I mean, Laguna Beach gets pretty good waves in that Laguna Beach Cove right there. And I remember this time there were some like really massive, strong, big waves coming in. And we were swimming out, to catch these waves. And I was catching some good waves, and I was body surfing. And I just knew, like sometimes you would use like a little body board, and that was good. But a lot of times I could just do it with just like using my arms, and I could actually catch good waves. But one time, man, I was on this wave. It must have been, who knows, 20 feet high or something. And it just was doing this type of thing. And I was on top of this wave. I was actually on top of the wave, and then the wave, and it was getting kind of close to the shore. And the wave just crashed, and it just brought me straight down, and I hit like, the ground, the bottom of the, it's not the bottom of the ocean. I mean, it was close to the shore. If you probably, I don't know, 40 or 50 feet kind of from the beach, I guess. And you know how the waves come in and it makes it like it gets shallow, and then the wave crashed, and it just drove me straight down into the ocean and into the ground, like slammed me. And I think I felt like it dislocated my shoulder or something. I don't know, it fucked my shoulder up, and I didn't break anything. I've been really blessed. Like, I've really gotten fucked up and things, but never really broke anything. And I think it like really fucked my collarbone up and my shoulder. And I remember I almost got knocked out. I almost felt like I got knocked out or something. But I remember I was able to not drown, because I almost felt like I was going to drown. And I was able to get out of the water, and I just sort of, I'm like, kind of like all leaning, and I'm in pain. And I don't know, I think I just went and fell on the beach. And it just, I never went to the doctor or hospital or anything, but I was done surfing for the day. And I guess I forget who I was with, some friends or something. And I was like, fuck, I'm like, I don't know, I was just all fucked up. And then we went to, I don't know, I guess went home or something. But I remember my shoulder hurt for like months and months, man. But I never really go to the doctor, so who knows? I didn't break my collarbone. You'd know if you broke a collarbone. And I've had friends that broke their collarbones in football, and you can see it almost sticking out of their skin practically. Um, but I fucked up my shoulder really bad from body surfing, and I don't think I ever body surfed after that. I may have tried it a couple times when in places where the waves weren't that good. Anyhow, I never had the desire to go into these fucking waves that were going up like 20 feet, or whatever they are, ever again. West Webb says, dark here, almost time for sleep. And AJX1 says, once a wave hit me so hard I swallowed salt water. Yeah, that happens. West Webb says, I've been caught too. Fighting is fun. So are we back on the fighting thing again? You've been caught what? And so I don't know. Wes says, after I broke my heel, I never had balance enough to try to stand on a board or skis. Too scary that I'll break it again. Wow, you broke your heel, your actual heel. Wow, that must have been painful. How did you break your heel? I don't know. I don't know if we have time for that because it is been a couple hours now, and it is 5:22, and so I should probably get out and do some driving tonight. Go up and make that money, 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 and I'll see you guys when I see you. Not sure if I'll do a Fat Lip Friday show or not. Maybe, I don't know. I guess Hal's back on in the morning and afternoon, so I don't know. I might try to do some more shows just to get the watch hours up, so we can get to that 3,000 watch hour mark. So again, kind of like what Liberal Dan was doing. Let's get you guys to watch my videos. Maybe just watch them. Don't put the sound. Don't mute it. You can go all the way down to like 1. You won't even hear it. Like if you just want it to play. And then that'll give me watch hours, and then I could be a partner, like one of those partner guys. I could be a YouTube partner. So we just needed that because I've got the other things I'll take care of. I've got the subs, and I got the whatever the other thing is, and then the third thing is the watch hours. So if you guys want to help me out, you can help me out by watching my videos. I've got over 900 of them, and it's all types. It's trucking, and it's me being goofy, and it's me being silly, and it's me being extra goofy, and it's me, and then there's live streams of me just being boring. So, but yeah, that would help out if you guys could watch. And so regularly, let's try. I'm always shooting for Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I always try to do. I always want to try to do more. So I might pop up and do some impromptus over the weekend or whatever. Just try to get those watch hours up, and also not just for that. I mean, I like talking to you guys, and it's fun to hang out, and we have interesting conversations, and you guys make the chat interesting with your input. So it's good to just have that interaction and have fun, right? It's all about having the fun. Basically, it's about having fun. I mean, I guess I had visions of like making this some big political thing and talking about, Trump and MAGA and gun rights and abortion and blah-de, la-de, la-de, la-de. But maybe that's not my thing. Maybe my thing is just shooting the shit with you guys, Maybe that's my thing. Everyone has a thing. Everyone has a niche. Maybe I'm still trying to find my niche in the YouTube live stream, social media world. Maybe I'm not the political guy. Maybe I'm not Hal Sparks or Liberal Dan. Maybe I'm just Trucker John, and we just sit here and we have we have a little shit session, and we talk about things like Rumble and and weed, Rumble and weed. Jolie's got the links there. Thank you so much. Buy me a coffee, help support the show. And also, I thought I saw something about Russia Sucks. Oh yeah, the Russia Sucks song. You can find that. That is interesting because I wrote that, made that on the fly, way before the Ukrainian war, way before all this bullshit. I hated Russia my whole life, basically. And that proves it because that's an old song from 10 years ago or longer now. And I was hating Russia then, and I hate it now. I don't really hate Russia per se, but I hate Putin, and I hate, what they're doing. I hate how they're running the country, and I hate what they're doing to the Ukrainians. And I think the way the Russian government just treats their own people has been really, really shitty. Not that we in America are perfect. We are not perfect, but I think we are trying to we're trying to improve. We are actually trying to improve where other places aren't, like fucking Putin in Russia. They're just trying to be, dictators and authoritarians and fascists and shit like that. So anyhow, I don't mean to go off on another tangent. I'm trying to end this for tonight. Wes says, I've found a bunch of your niche. Thank you very much, Wes, for thumbing me up or whatever. Give us a good watch, though. Gets those watch hours up. Hedge says, I watched your operatic Russia Sucks from like 10 years ago. Thank you so much for watching it. I hope you like. Did you like it? I don't know. Did you give me a thumbs up? You can always thumbs up. Comments are good. You can just say yay or nay, or you can, I guess you could say that was awful, John, or whatever. Comments are good. Yeah, that helps put me in the algorithm, I think. Ed Jimmy says Russia culture is trash. Yeah, they're really kind of fucked up, right? Wes says I think that we all do. Well, I appreciate it that you all do. Like you I guess he's talking about watching and thumbs upping and commenting, and I appreciate all that. Love you guys, man. Jolie says Russia sucks. There's the link right there. If you want to hit that link and go watch me, that was actually shot with a camera I had up on the top of the cab, top thingy. As I was driving, I was listening to this classical music, and I'd been listening to stories about the Olympics that were going to come there and how nothing was done. It was like a week before the Olympics. They still had hotels and venues that, like, there was like unfinished work, and people were starting to come in to the villages and stuff. And it was just a big fucking shit show. And so that's where that song emanated from. Those lyrics were all on the fly because that's how I roll, baby. On the fly. I roll on the fly. And Jimmy said that they liked it, so thank you so much. AJ says, I'm going to get your watch hours up, Trucker John. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wes says, laughing out. Oh, my. Oh, my. Wes Webb says, let's just generalize 1,000 years of culture. Well, I know. Whatever. I'm no expert in the Russian culture, but from what I've seen, especially under the Putin years, and not like Gorbachev or Khrushchev or was any better. They were fucking straight out commies, right? Especially Khrushchev or whatever his fucking name was. And Putin is just a little fucking Napoleonic dictator. And they do, and the culture does seem to be this one of just ultimate paranoia, right? But that is generalization because I don't know. I'm not an expert. I've never been there, and I've never studied it. So yeah, you're right, Wes. I mean, it is generalization. Wes Hedgeham says this. I'm not sure what that means. Sometimes I say stuff, and then by the time I read the thing, I forgot what that was probably in reference to. I'm not talking about historical Russian culture anyway. Wes says history created a race of evil people, vampires. Yes, you gotta watch out for those. And Wes says, don't go past these mountains, laughing out loud. All right, guys. So anyhow, thank you so much for being here, hanging out. We just killed a couple hours, and we talked about a bunch of shit. And I hope that it was worth your while, just to hang out. And I hope maybe it took your mind off some things for a little bit. Maybe we got a little laugh. Maybe got a little chuckle out of you. And that's always a good thing, right? So I'll see you when I see you. If not over the weekend, the next Tuesday we'll shoot for. Even though didn't I miss this Tuesday? But I'm trying to not miss these days. Jimmy says, "See you, man. I'm Antiquities on Discord. I sent you an invite. Oh. See, I didn't know who you were. I didn't know, and I think I ended up I think I ended up removing that. So send me another one. Because I would, sometimes I get, if I don't know who you are, I'm kind of hesitant to accept things, you know what I mean? So, yeah, send me another one. Sorry about that, Hedgely. Wes says a bunch of Turks and Mongols and Arabs. Fun show, says Jolie. Thanks, Jolie. It was for your help and for being a part of the show, a big part of it. And Hedgely says, I was being a jerk, but I was just horsing around. No, you weren't. You weren't being a jerk. Come on. It's okay to horse around. All right, guys. Thank you, S Web. Thank you, everyone. Jolie, 72, AJAX1, Bill Deacon, Adam Wester, Stephanie B2. Jackie was here earlier, a long time ago. I don't know if she's still lurking or not. I'm pretty sure she was here earlier. Or maybe I'm thinking of the morning show. But anyhow, all the people here that gave me the thumbs ups and are watching and participating, I really appreciate it. It's good to participate. And I'll see you again. I'll see you soon. All right. Bye-bye.